Good afternoon, Career Day fans. Today we are watching Dryzalizer and Freddeh in match one of the lower bracket finals. They'll be competing to make it to the grand finals where I will get the lucky opportunity to face one of them again. And in this Career Day draft tournament, the two racers have chosen on 4 jobs. They have ended up selecting Time Mage, Black Mage, Ninja, and Trainer. Today I'm joined by Fiery Blizzard. How are you doing?
I am doing well, excited for this matchup. Two veterans of this career day randomizer, so we should be able to see, various different strategies. Trainer being a pretty interesting job to watch, depending on how they want to go about catching and releasing. Uh, Ninja being sort of the staple of find your javelins, throw them, and don't worry about anything else. And then Black Mage and Time Mage for their utility, and if you happen to stumble on Meteo immediately, then you don't worry about anything because Space Rocks solve all problems. So we will see what happens here. Uh, but yeah, excited for this game one. I'm excited to see how the series comes out. I'm excited to see the end of this tournament.
Yeah, we're certainly moving fast towards it with a maximum of, after this one, 6 more matches.
Yes, you were trying to figure out exactly how many matches you could possibly get by the end of the last series.
And the answer to that for me will be 15.
So we will see. Yes, as both of these racers will be coming from the losers bracket at the end of this tournament, or at the end of this series, they will be down 0-1 to Yujo in a best of 5 series. So tall order for them to get through. But first, they have to worry about their current matchup, and they should be getting started on stream shortly. Uh, Imagine we'll see sort of a standard start here, going directly north into Tycoon Castle, get the starting items, get the hint, and then we'll see where they go from there. Probably, most people have been going into the void immediately to loot those 7 chests, where unfortunately we have a decent chance to find Meteo either there or Sealed Castle, but maybe not this time.
It's only 19 checks, maybe we can avoid it. Or it could be like, I believe, Dry's last race with Time Mage, where it was simply in Pirate's Cove.
Yes, the Pirate's Cove, where Sildra is a tier 6 item, which is pretty high. We have 9 tiers, and there are no tier 9s that can actually show up in these settings, so you're really looking for tiers 6, 7, and 8, and Meteo, I think, is a 7 or an 8, probably an 8. But it does have a decent chance to roll over there because there are some wiggle room for spots to roll higher than they should or they're listed as. Otherwise, it would be pretty easy to know exactly where to get your items if we weren't going to allow that sort of overflow.
Gold Hairpin and the Water Scroll are so far the best finds. Water Scroll will, depending on the boss for sure, but very easily get you through most Wind Shrine bosses with just that.
Oh yeah, almost certainly there are only a couple bosses that do absorb. We do get our first hint here, Tornakanawa's Path to the Void. If you're unfamiliar with Career Day, Path to the Void just in this case means that whatever item you get there is going to either be a tablet or lead to a tablet. The end condition of this game is to beat Neo XF at the end of the Void or one of the optional super bosses that we place there in the randomizer. And to do that, you need all 4 tablets. And in this setting, you start with one of the 4 tablets immediately, so you just have to find 3 more.
Holy, that would have been nice if we had a white mage with the Sage's Staff. Bahamut, good for a summoner.
Yeah, that's a far cry. Normally, we're seeing Bahamut at, say, like, Tool or Lix or Jakol, and there's
Oh,
Meteo. Alright.
hello, Space Rocks. hello explosions after about 10 minutes.
I would say, it's a little bit sad that, you can't have the MP to start casting space rocks immediately, but we did find a gold hairpin. You still can't do it at level 1 or level 2, but after Wind Shrine, we will have certainly enough MP on a time age to just cast Meteor over and over and over and over again. In other words, basically the entire open overworld at this point, totally a non-issue. You might want to search for javelins being a little bit faster of a throw than sitting through 4 repetitions of space rocks every battle, but other than sort of interesting AoE bosses that wouldn't be great for Meteo, and we just sort of solved that problem with Thunder Rods being sold, the first, say, like, dozen checks are pretty much solved.
Outer Bridge is in World 2. That's helpful, maybe. Hopefully.
It could be. We'll see. So there are 15 hints in the game that are designed to try to tell you where to go or where to avoid, just because there are a number of checks in this game. And we didn't really want people to go around completely unhinted for everything. 10 of them in the setting are available immediately, whereas 5 are locked behind key items in World 3. 3 are in the trench, which requires a submarine key and the trench page, and 2 are in Mirage Radar or Mirage Town, which requires the Mirage Radar. But I expect both of these razors, maybe they'll go into Tool just to check the other hint there, and probably just get on with, basically defeating everything in their way.
There's still a couple things they probably want to find, stuff to help them have a better plan for Neo X Death, so they can't skip all of the shops at this point, but opening chests, they maybe can definitely do a little less on the early looting.
Oh, absolutely. The big thing here is, I mentioned it before, javelins are nicer, faster than Meteor when you can get away with it, and having a second gold hairpin apparently in the Pirate's Cove. Also very nice. You need 2 gold hairpins are nice, because you have 2 mages. More won't hurt, but 2 is certainly a good number to have. But no, we're going to want to see javelins. We're obviously going to want to see, say, like Phoenix Downs. We're also looking for sort of the instant death spells of X-Zone or Doom or Break. Just things that will speed it up even faster. Once we start getting to those very high HP spots, those spells that will instantly kill a boss are so much more useful than Space Rocks.
Haste 2 would also be an amazing find. Ability to make everyone go faster than the enemy. Sign me up.
Yep. The other one is, utility-wise, Float. The one thing that could always happen if you're not careful about where you're saving, if you decide to rush Wind Shrine without saving at all in the game and you're like 6-7 minutes in, and there's a Titan sitting there, and you don't have a way to do paralysis, or you don't have a way to float your characters, you're just dead.
Does the basic whip have a chance of paralysis?
The basic whip... yeah. It should technically be a half a chance, or a 50% chance, like most of the paralysis whips are. But the game can be the game. We do get the little brother version of Meteor in Comet, which is 1 instead of 4 space rocks and has a lower multiplier. So not as useful, a little less MP, actually quite a bit faster for these early bosses when you don't really need a high roll. I also did get a coral ring from the Toolpack Goblin chest, which is a very nice find. We have a couple guard rings for money if we really want money. The Whirl Ring is nice to have on hand in case you find a Leviathan, say, deep in the void where you want to spam Meteo and you don't want to really eat tidal waves. So you just sit in the back row with a Time Mage, you use Meteo or Break Thunder Rod. Well, Breaking Thunder Rods give you Entangle, but you can cast Meteo, and the tidal waves that will inevitably show up in a counter will actually heal you instead of doing anything else. Ooh. That is a music box.
Bolt 3, we have a Thunder Rod. That's the Black Mage online for real fast damage.
Absolutely. Again, still need a little bit of the MP, but, you know, again, right after we beat Windshrine here, really shouldn't be any problems. Just clearing this overworld and even clearing most of the World 2 checks in very quick fashion. This is sort of, if you are... Go ahead.
One other item runners, at least I would be looking for, if you decide against an AoE approach to Neo X Death, Excalibur's is one of the best buyable darts for the final endgame. It will not be useful early. They cost 10,000 and oftentimes you don't have the money, but Dry has found them.
Yeah, it's something to take a note for sure.
Picking up 20-30, you'll be doing, if you're at higher levels, 4,000, 5,000 to all of those late game bosses, and that's very fast damage.
Yeah, and it's sort of supplemented with the fact that if we got Mirage Raider so early, you end up getting, you can go into a place, Phoenix Tower, where you get 600,000 gil roughly at the end of it, if you wanted to take it all that way, and that's a number of Excaliburs, you know, that's 60 of them right away, and there's not much standing in your way at that point. We do see Minnow here early. Certainly this spot you'd want to find him, not threatening at all. Apparently we have a Mirage Nest from somewhere. Can't even cast Holy here, so just like the vanilla game.
One of the few spots that he can't.
Yeah, I believe it's basically any tiering higher than maybe Ship Graveyard. Flame Whip isn't a bad reward. It's not a key item, but it is technically the most powerful whip. Dragon Whisker, I think, maybe has a little bit more of an attack, and Dragon Whisker in this case is actually more useful, but probably won't find that so early.
Yeah, if it weren't for the fact that we have Bolt 3 and Meteo, I definitely, as a runner, would be excited for the Flame Whip. It gives something for the trainer to do, but we're probably going to be hoping for something a little better for the trainer to do soon.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's completely overshadowed. We actually see Dry not going into Licks immediately. He's probably going to go to Licks right after the Windshrine. I doubt he skips that song, that bard as well, so he'll pick up the Bolt 3, it'll be after Minnow, and it doesn't really matter, because you can't cast magic against Minnow anyways.
I know Minotauros absorbs Holy.
He does absorb water. Yes, yeah. You would not be able to use a water scroll. Well, you could use a water scroll against Minnow, it just wouldn't do you any good.
So, the statement about, hey, that water scroll can almost certainly get you through the Windshrine was false. Oh.
And there we see our first sighting of Space Rocks.
Overkill Joy.
A little bit. The Comet would have done just as well there. And it was indeed Path to the Void, giving us our second tablet. I don't expect our runners to go back into into Kuza Castle to pick something up unless they really want more money. There wasn't really too much there that was interesting, other than, of course, Meteo.
There was a lot of good spells, which unfortunately hurts the getting money part also. Because uncastable spells can be sold for the low price of 0 gold. Because they can't be sold.
Yeah, unfortunately, while you can buy Bahamut in shops sometimes, you cannot sell it. This is not Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. But yeah, there's Dry getting the Bolt 3. Probably just as surprised to see it roll there out of all places, but still more likely there than the running shoes that showed up in one race this tournament. And we get French Vanilla with the Carl Bus here. One spot over, weak to Thunder, though a Thunder Scroll does more than enough damage.
And is significantly... Was that an antidote?
That was an Adamantite.
Okay.
So Freddeh has the second tablet and the Adamantite. Slow 2, not bad. You're actually better off casting slow or over slow 2 if it's a single target, but certainly not a bad spell to pick up. Something
Is it an accuracy bonus, or is it simply just lower MP?
I believe it is less accurate for slow 2 versus slow. And then we get some of the consumables that could be tempted not to buy so many revivifies or antidotes, and then you get to Neo XF and deal with something known as Grand Cross, and then everyone's zombied, and you're just like, oh, this is bad. We do see the throwable of choice in early and mid game, and even a lot for late game of the javelins here in Carwin. As you can tell, Freddeh bought 99 of them. When Dry sees those javelins, he will also buy 99 of them. And some people, if you haven't played this game before, may not realize not only how broken javelins are, but how quickly a stack of 99 items can disappear.
If all you're doing is throwing javelins, I've used over 150 in a seed before.
Yeah.
It can go.
It's fast, and especially when this game lets you hold A for repeated actions. When you're not thinking about it, you suddenly find yourself with like 8 or 9 javelins, and you're thinking to yourself, where did I buy these?
The other item in the javelin shop that, not for necessarily this party, but as Dry just picked up, a Giant's Glove increases your strength by 5, which should provide at least a slight boost to damage. I don't know the exact damage formulas, but...
So, I will say that... So, first off, that Fire 3 proc on the Necro there at the Waltz Meteor. Very nice. Necro being weak to all elements, and also very nice to find Necro this early. We have seen Kaiser Knuckle in shops as well. So, if we wanted more strength than just a Giant's Glove, we do actually have something better, or the best weapon for that, or best armor, or accessory, I guess you could say. Nothing but a whole bunch of levels there from Necro, though.
Adamantite, nice find, but
we could do it right now.
When you're like second check of World 1, it can get annoying having to do the extra inputs when you don't want to go up in the sky.
Yes. We do find Demi in, where is this? This is Waltz. So, very nice spell. Will take any non-heavy boss, which is just a status in the game. It's different than whether or not it's doomable. We may see Doom at some point this seed. And we'll have the boss's HP. Not entirely relevant early game, simply because Meteor will probably do like 200% of everyone's HP. Why Demi when you can just throw space rocks?
It looks like Freddy's ninja has the ability to throw, so we're either going to be looking to switch that up to trainer most likely, or we will be looking to keep it to try and master dual wield to have dual wield rod breaking, I believe would be the strat you would use with master dual wield at this party.
A ninja? Mastering ninja is really nice for several reasons, and that being one of them, for sure. We do have Hiryu Plant at the Waltz basement here, the Shiva spot. Again, getting a 33% chance proc at that Fire 3 on the whip. Very nice to see. Instantly takes care of the big flower, and a Bolt 3 takes care of the little flowers. And nothing doing in the Waltz basement.
On Drive side, we see rocks being the solution to ancient evil zombies. I don't know what necrophobia is.
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, it's a mummy-like sprite, but as for exactly what he is lore-wise, I don't know. He can, however, if he's in a very late spot in the void, be very, very painful.
Or things reflecting holy and flare onto your party hurts a lot, especially when you don't have any source of shell outside of a Wonder Rod, and Break and Bio useful finds, although Bio's power is a little less at this point.
Yeah, not entirely useful. Bio has two uses. A applies the sap status, so if you are very careful, you can shorten the Archaeolavis fight quite a bit in certain places. The other is against Apocalypse, where Apocalypse is very weak to Bio, and it will do more damage than Bolt 3. If you apply a Venom Rod rather than Thunder Rod and Bolt 3. But Break is certainly the significantly more useful spell there. It is one of those instant kill spells if a boss, like so many of them in this game, are vulnerable to Break. Then you don't have to deal with any of their HP, and it's also a pretty fast animation as well. So, certainly, I don't expect Dry to skip Break there. Dry has missed Break in a few matches this tournament. But
Desert of Shifting Sands, Path of the Void. Is that one?
That is the sandworm.
Okay, that's specifically the sandworm bait and not pyramid.
Yes, because pyramid is its own text. It will say pyramid is path to the void if it's pyramid.
And then the conjoined would be desert areas are barren.
Correct. We see Freddeh going into more. Dry is doing the Waltz basement here. Blanca Meteor is Path to the Void, so that's my favorite early game check in the catapult. This may very well be over quite quickly. We have the Brave Blade and Chicken Knife Chest. You get one. Freddeh is not resetting out of a turtle shell. He did save right outside, I thought, so I'm surprised. Fire 3, Old. Old has a very small chance to hit. Not terribly great. But Fire 3, of course, also very nice to have. Can't wear any Aegis shields, unfortunately. That would be nice endgame armor shield there. But Fire 3 is actually slightly longer in animation time. So even if we found Fire Rods, unless we're against something weak to fire, you'd still be best off using Bolt 3 over Fire 3.
Yeah, we also find Fire Scroll, so again, adding to our arsenal of anti-weak to fire abilities. But we know 2 locations we need to get to, but it could just be the same hint. Would be a quick path, Blanca Meteor to Desert of Shifting Sands, but would still leave us looking for more.
So I like how I do this too, and I think everyone does this sort of on reflex, right? Where we have Bolt 3 already, and we got it early, and then you see Bolt 2 in the shop, and you just like you have more than enough MP to not have to worry about it, and you still pick up Bolt 2, and you're just like, you click A, you buy it, and you're just like, wait, why did I do that?
Mirage Radar in World 3. Wonder if that's going to push any of the runners to maybe doing an early Chocobo check or Odin check. We have a lot of power, so it's possible. Probably would want to haste first, but
Maybe. So here's the other thing that we got in Kelb, the town we were just in. We got Exone, which is another way to instantly kill bosses. So now we have basically 2 of the 3 main instant kills available to us. Exone is able to banish any boss that is non-heavy into the void, and break, basically stoning any boss that is vulnerable to break. So that's the only one we're missing now is Doom.
yeah. Freddeh with that javelin toss, it did not qualify as a one-shot, so Gilgamesh is going through his buff phase, jumping and then dying, I believe.
That's correct, because that Meteor certainly did more than enough damage.
I know Meteor triggers 2 counters. Would Meteor for Greg to qualify as a single attack or staff?
I did not see what came out of that check from Freddie's side. Unfortunately, Freddie's been having a few frame drops. We apologize for that. Nothing we can do about it on our end, or nothing he could do about it from his end as well. We'll see what it is on Dry's side. Meteor will, I believe, trigger Greg's to buff phase and jump. We did see where the Sandworm bait is. It is at the big bridge.
Chain continues.
Now all we need is the big bridge key behind something stupid at Bahamut. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a minnow this time.
It could still be Bahamut itself. That's never fantastic to see.
No. I am a little surprised Freddie is cleaning up these meteors rather than going the catapult to Lanka immediately. Speaking of things we like to see, Leviathan early. An Aquarake won't actually kill here. I think it'll probably only do like 240 damage, but a Meteor is certainly going to kill Leviathan.
I think I've seen Aquarake do like 250 to 300, so
Yeah.
might have knocked 1 or 2, but
Yep, it should be around that range here. And what do we get here?
more Thunder Rod.
A tiara. Bit of magic boost.
On Dry's end, we see it was just a Guardian Dagger, so no key items from Bal's Castle Defense.
Yeah, so oddly enough, if you duel Guardians, that's a pretty easy way to basically have your ninja not really able to get hit with physical attacks. Between that and a Mirage Vest.
We see Sleep, which is a very good find for, say, Stalkers.
Yep, Stalkers, Antlion are both very much bosses you would want Sleep for. There are those
Atmos
Kaiser
is-
Knuckles in Karnak,
Save
by the
some
way.
animations.
So you can buy a Kaiser Knuckles, put it on the ninja, and start throwing javelins for quite a bit more damage.
Is there any other... so that's a ring equipment. Is there any really good armor or helmets for plus strength?
Dark Suit and the Strength Suit, I believe, both. I don't know which one gives you better strength, probably the Strength Suit, but I believe both of them will give you some sort of strength bonus, if I'm remembering it correctly.
Oh.
I believe that was an accidental input from Freddeh. It likes to sort of...
You went up there anyways. Might as well just continue your way, right?
Yeah, if he saved any time in the past 7 minutes.
That's the key.
So if we get the lost tower key, we know what that will
Or
hold.
the sub key.
Or the sub key. There's a light staff in the chicken knife spot. Alright. Because Freddeh only checked the Brave Blade spot, which was just a turtle shell. Something totally not useful for this party. In fact, the draft started with Freddeh getting first pick and immediately decided to ban both Blue Mage and Chemist. No idea what brought that on.
After the last tournament match he was a part of, decided for something different.
Yeah. Turns out Blue Mage and Chemist is a little bit broken. Turns out Chemist in most jobs are a little bit broken.
I mean, isn't almost every job but just a little bit broken? Except Geomancer and Thief?
Hey, Thief has Mug Chicken Knife. That's all to say, Geomancer really, and Geomancer has some interesting places that you wouldn't expect where terrain is actually very useful if you don't have another option. But Geomancer as sort of a job doesn't really synergize with anything.
We'll say it's neat at the 29-minute mark. We have both runners doing the exact same check. Always fun. And a breakable boss.
Yeah, and you don't actually have that bad of a chance of hitting break here. At the same time, like, why bother? So Odin is a theoretically breakable boss, but his scaling gets so absurd in terms of magic evade that any spot after basically World 1, your chances of hitting break are very low, and in fact any point past his vanilla spot, the chance goes to negative chances, so 0%. For Odin, at Odin, which is a World 3 check, this is terribly surprising, but it is very nice to find Odin here, where he won't be able to do too much, versus, say, in the Deep Void, where you're just like, how much do I really want to do this?
Please roll low with your AoE Comet.
Multiple
or is
times.
it AoE double Comet?
I don't think it's quite double Comet. But Odin in very late spots can get dicey pretty quickly. Because it will go melee attack, true edge, melee attack, true edge, just continue that over and over again, and your HP goes down pretty quickly. So, well, we are 30 minutes in, and we are in essential endgame no mode. We know we need the big bridge key to get the sandworm bait to get somewhere into the 4th tablet. This is also a breakable boss in Crayclaw. This is basically 12,000 HP. So it will be faster to break here. But also very weak to bolt or lightning, so...
Wouldn't be surprised to see 6,000 or 7,000 coming up with the Thunder Rod Black Mage, so either way is good.
Yes. Steamship Key is a very nice find too. Again, really, what is interesting here is even if we find the big bridge key, which we know gives the sandworm bait, there is no guarantee that would actually be go mode, because we still do not have the submarine key. And without the submarine key, there is always the slight possibility that we can't get to wherever we need to get this last tablet.
There's also the possibility that it's simply the anti-barrier bracelet combo instead.
Yes, but we do have access. Either the access is through the sub key, or it's through the Waltz Tower key, and we have the Waltz Tower key. We did get that from the catapult.
So it's a little more known than Subkey's location.
Yes, because we do know where the anti-barrier is, and we have with the Waltz Tower key. So it's just, if we find the bracelet at Sandworm, we know how to get through X-Stuff's castle, and then you possibly could have a fork from there. But other than that, really the sub key is the big one.
If, for example, it was at the Greg 4 spot, do you still finish even though you have all 4 tablets?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be faster to beat X-Stuff well, it's going to be faster and safer to beat X-Stuff in his castle than it will be to fight Tree X-Stuff. So it's absolutely something that I would do. And especially if you don't have the Mirage Radar at that point, there's a chance you could spike the Mirage Radar there too. If you are ready at Greg 4, unless you have a buff phase, I think you just immediately take it. You get the pyramid page from the first check-in library. We need the other desert item. Yes, the Mirage Radar is in World 3, we know that. But if, say, Greg 4 holds the 4th tablet, and we haven't found the Mirage Radar because there's no need to go to World 3, then there's a chance we could get it from X-Def himself in the castle due to the quirk of the way this randomizer is run on full open worlds. And Mirage Radar just generally has some very nice things for sale. Whether or not it's running shoes, or more Mirage vests, or something like that. So if you can get, if you can get access to Mirage, all the better.
I missed it. Did we see what the second location of the Adamantite's reward was?
It was Falls Page.
Cool.
And then Freddeh has the, Dry has the anti-barrier from the Waltz Tower. That's what we just got, and both have the Waltz Tower key. I do want to thank my co-commentator, Judge Joe, for also tracking on the side. It's not easy, for sure. So big thanks to Judge Joe here for joining me in the booth today. This was pretty last minute sort of cobbled together crew here on this wonderful Sunday. We do see Freddeh doing a World 3 check here at the Odin spot. Surprised he is doing this before Antlion Cave. And there is Haste 2.
Haste 2. Oh. Yay.
That is not a chest you normally open, and I think Freddeh is happy that he opened it.
That one I might open, but the one on the far bottom left in those 3 is very less. Hope you have your maiden's kisses.
So, fun fact that you may not be aware of, this is a bug that is fixed now, obviously. We've sort of seen that it's fixed in this very race. But that chest and the back of Bao Castle used to be bugged to give the same reward. And it would replace whatever was going to be at the back of Bao Castle with that chest item. And this got fixed probably like 9 months ago or so. So, in this case, I would have just given you Haste 2 twice.
Double the chance of Haste 2? I wouldn't mind that. Although if it was the other way around, 0% chance of Haste 2 is, less kind.
Yeah, so, first off, to talk about the race a little bit, Freddeh is at Odin spot, 19,000 HP here, I believe. Halicarnassos is actually a safe boss. Will never kill more than one of your characters at a time. That's the big thing with Hali. We do see Bahamut at the Tycoon Meteor, so no Mega Flares for us to see.
Good to get it out of the way.
Absolutely. We've seen a lot of the really rude bosses that we wouldn't want to see pretty early, which is nice. We do see Odin at Odin. We have the trench page from the waltz. So we have the Moogle suit for Freddeh at Odin. Trench page was at Waltz or Tycoon Meteor. Kitsune corrected me. It is 17k, not 19k HP there. Thank you for the correction. See if Freddeh might go. Looks like he'll probably go Antlion. Yeah. Gonna take Boko on a walk, do Antlion. I assume if this is nothing, he'll go Moogle Waterway in World 2 into the turning in that Moogle suit. There's a slight chance that it could have running shoes there or something nice, so.
Yeah, I will say, on Freddie's side, we know where the Mirage Radar is. One reason to be prioritizing World 3 checks at this point. We don't know where we need to go. So the Mirage Radar has a chance of giving us, well, will give us 2 hints, which could help us out.
Absolutely, this does make sense for sure. Red 1 here, throw a Javelin, he'll run away. Do anything, he'll run away. Get X-Zone if you really wanted to. But, either way,
XP.
It does give you XP, that's why you do it. It's not really all that much XP, so it's probably still not worthwhile, but just a full moon there, nothing. We have a ninja, so I mean, theoretically, something you could equip. There's just no reason you would equip it, honestly. But we do see Freddeh going right into Moogle Waterway. We have Dry up North Mountain 1, sort of the sneaky check that a lot of people don't like to do early, trying to pair it with the Bahamut check in World 3. It can burn you. Same with the front of the library check, which Dry also did. We'll see if it actually works out. And just a gold shield. But I mean, that was a minute and a half to make sure that you weren't going to get absolutely burned by, say, the sandworm bait being there.
I mean, it couldn't be the sandworm bait, but it's still
the big bridge
key.
Yeah.
Yeah. Catastrophe, so one of the 2 bosses you late game really would want float for, but at this point, it's kind of gonna go fast.
Yeah, we do actually have float, but there's no reason to use it.
Also doing Moogle Waterway, but without the Moogle suit.
Yeah, so there's certainly routes better for Freddeh. But who knows? We'll see what this gives. And Moogle suit may not give anything of importance. It's been very heavily nerfed from what it used to be. It is the bracelet, so that will give Dry his XF Castle access fully. I actually expect now Freddeh to go immediately to Waltz Tower in World 1 and get access to XF's castle and see, you know, you could possibly spike the sandworm bait in there, even if it's not one of the 3 key items you actually have access to.
You have a 2 out of 3 chance, could even be sub-key is the 3rd item I'd really look to select.
Yeah, I think
would not select sub-key over one of the 2 known Path of the Voids, but if nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, there is, again, the possibility that the sub-key itself is required at the end of the day. But if you know something is on the path, you take that. So yeah, I'm a little surprised Freddie's doing this meteor rather than... I mean, I guess this is fast enough, but I expect him to go to Waltz Tower unless he just completely forgot that hint.
I mean, I don't hate finishing up your final meteor. They're fast. If you don't know what's in the meteor, not much point in necessarily fading, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, until we get that sub-key, it really is a question of, even if we have our Path to the Void, do we really have it? The sub-key is sort of the linchpin here. It's sort of the tricky key item of the entire randomizer because it blocks so many different paths. Dry is not going to go into XF's castle. He's also going to finish these World 1 checks. Freddeh is going into Wolf's Tower, and he'll get his anti-barrier as well, and we'll see what he does. Maybe he'll go into Steamship, clear that out pretty quickly, because there's a chance you get running shoes from there. I also have no idea where we got Doom. But apparently we found Doom.
Somewhere in World 1, 2, or World 3.
So apparently we
somewhere in World 1 or 2.
Yeah, I don't think it was World 3. I don't think Dry's done anything in World 3. Except for the Void. If it was in Void, well, that makes sense. I probably wasn't looking all that closely when Dry was looting the Void, and vice versa when Freddeh was doing it. But now we have access to all of the spells that we need to instantly kill our bosses that are vulnerable to instant kill statuses. There are 3 methods of instant killing in this game. Dealing with non-heavy statuses, which X-Zone gives us. Stoning them, which is Break. And dooming them, which is Doom. Other than Death by Math shenanigans that override all of those sort of immunities, it's pretty well taken care of. Freddeh will get the anti-barrier from the top here. It's not Sunken Walls. And Freddeh, or Dry, will get his false page from this shout. Actually has Tame on Beastmaster, which causes paralysis on shout, and you will not eat a counter if you do your attacks quick enough from that point.
Neat. Yeah, we have whips for paralysis, although not any of the good ones of the paralysis type. We have stop, we have sleep, we have slow, doom, we have anti-heavy, we have break. We have pretty much all of the good status effects at this point.
And in Freddeh's case, we have haste too, rather than just haste. It is a pretty comfortable position to find yourself in. And again, we've seen a lot of the rude bosses already. So, this is a doomable boss, or a non-heavy boss. Choose your option here. You can X-Zone, you can Doom. And there's 11,500 HP gone to 0.
I mean, since we don't know where Dry found Doom, we don't know if Freddeh has Doom as well.
That is true.
It's possible it was in Balcastle chests. I don't think Freddeh looted those.
I don't believe he did, but it was also frame dropping then, so I could not tell you either way. We will know for sure if he ever opens up the black magic menu and we don't see Doom. Freddeh's gonna float his party here. One of the better things about this game versus you're certainly familiar with Free Enterprise, the Final Fantasy IV randomizer, is that float does persist in this game between floors. So you only have to cast it once.
Oh dear. Floating through Extendel. I mean, it's not every floor that's flame, so it's just for the flame floors, but it's still less good.
Alternatively, you could have a Geomancer, and if you have Geomancer mastered or as part of your party at all, then you don't take lava damage either because they just go right over it.
Useful.
It can very well be useful if you're not comfortable with various things. The triple tier, that was sort of what I was keying in, sort of one of the ruder bosses we had left, so seeing them here in, at the front of Steamship, very nice. 3000 HP, so they split their health into thirds, so 1000 HP per triplet. Much better than, 16,666 health per triplet. And we get a nice Wizard Rod out of that as well.
Always good to have that available.
Freddeh doesn't even care. He's just not saving. I think he saved after the pit. Speaking of X-Zone, this is also a boss you can X-Zone. Makisa here.
As we see, since the Carbuncle spot naturally has a higher magic evade, with it being Carbuncle, does that still carry over to the randomizer or less so?
Yeah, it does. So there's our Elder Branch. We did know that was in World 2. So the way the randomizer boss scaling works is on a rank system. So this isn't like Free Enterprise where it carries over the stats from the vanilla boss that's there. Each spot has its own ranking, and as you go up in ranking, their stats get higher and higher progressively. So basically, for any single boss, the hardest place to fight them is going to be the Necro spot. And then Twintania spot, and then work your way down. So it's not that Carbuncle has a higher natural evade, it's just that it's going to scale higher and higher the further away you get from its vanilla location.
Antlion, one of those bosses that sleep is good for.
Yes, if you sleep Antlion here and then just throw rocks on Antlion's head, Antlion will not wake up. And you just, you make Antlion very unconscious.
Does the throw command wake people up?
As throw is a physical, so it should. Because in this game, sleep is tied to being attacked physically.
We
get French vanilla from the from the Karnak escape.
The big thing I saw was an X-Cow, which is simply a big dart.
Yep.
Not the biggest, but still reasonable size.
Not what Dry was hoping for there. Certainly was hoping for, say, running shoes.
Or haste 2, even though we know it wouldn't be there.
Yeah, it's... That particular spot in Odin gave... I mean, Dry will get there eventually. I assume he'll go there after Antlion Cave here. Like I said, there's a good chance that he skips over it. It's not a chest that people generally loot. Meanwhile, this X-Stuff's castle has just had the Elder Branch, and that is it. We are going to fight X-Stuff in his castle. We haven't really talked too much about that. Would you like to explain?
So, in this tournament, we have selected fully open world. We don't have to get the Adamant type to get to World 2. We don't need to beat X-Death in his castle to get to World 3. We can go wherever we want, whenever we want. However, we still want to be able to do something with X-Death at the end of his castle. No point necessarily having a boss that's just sitting there for no reason. So, in completely open seeds, if you beat X-Death, you both turn phase 1 of Neo X-Death to critical HP, so any damage will get you to the final Neo X-Death phase. However, one downside is makes setups a little rougher, because critical HP X-Death, or Tree X-Death can be rude. And you get one of 3 options of a key item. Randomly generated, could be worthless, could be anti-barrier, could be bracelet even. Will not be a tablet specifically, but with the hint system, has a chance of allowing you to skip certain checks.
Like a required Minotaurus of Bahamut where you have no Mirage Vest. And no...
Or a required Bahamut at Sunken Walls.
Yeah, I still maintain that match between you and Freddeh, I think it was game 2, right? That was by a watching standpoint, the most entertaining race that we've had for a very long time, if not just in the history of doing career day tournaments. Just really showcasing sort of different routes and different ways to beat the seed and get to the same point, and having a very close race to finish.
It came down to endgame execution. And that's always fun. We find the last of the tier 3 elementals on Hiru Valley from Dryzalizer, so always good to have all of those available, although Ice 3, I believe we've seen most bosses you'd care for it.
And we get the Puraboros at the top here. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, you could throw scrolls. Breaking a Rod might still be better. 2000 HP per Puraboros here. X-Death goes down very quickly on Freddie's side. Puraboros, if you're not familiar with them, you have to kill all of them at once, otherwise they life to each other over and over again. So you get the Sandworm Bait. You choose the Sandworm Bait because you know that's Path to the Void.
But Mirage Radar!
Oh no.
We'll be fine. We have Break, who needs levels for Neo X-Death.
We know where Telepores are as well, it's fine.
And we have Haste 2.
The issue...
So if we're doing 4,000, you would need about 13 Excaliburs before you get Almagested.
Both 3s are nice too, but the... I mean, the other thing here is, unlike Shoot, Break as a black magic actually has worse accuracy than Shoot. So it's worse than you're remembering in terms of hitting Almagest with Break.
I don't think I've ever attempted to break Almagest outside of Shout, which, in my opinion, is still too inaccurate for me.
But we do get the 4th tablet, so that is theoretically go mode, and by that I mean it is go mode for Freddie. We will see if he takes that immediately. I expect with no sight flying into where Mirage Radar will be, and in fact, in reality, it's most likely going to be the Elder Branch and require a Fork Tower dive. I expect him just to go into the Void, rather than go around to Fork Tower to probably lead to something that gives you access into Mirage. And in fact, I think at this point, that has to be the case.
Pyramid.
It could be Pyramid, I guess, and it could be a Shrine from, say, the Elder Branch as well, or the Sub-Key from Elder Branch.
Sub-Key is the big one because it opens up 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll open up 4 checks for runners, but
3 of them possibly having the Mirage Radar.
Choices.
No, I think Freddie is pretty well set. He's just buying Excaliburs here.
21
Elixirs
light, but
so Elixirs, we have haste too. It's fine. Elixirs would be an interesting buy here, but no one's surviving an Almagest anyways, so
it's more if you run out of MP from your Bolt 3s.
It makes you feel. We have 2 gold hairpins. You're dead before we run out of MP.
So would you go would you go Trainer and Ninja with Throw, Time Mage and Black Mage with Tier 3 with Bolt 3s, casts with boosted Bolt 3s?
So Ninja will natively have Throw. So I would almost be tempted to catch 1 Zoo on the Ninja to have to release and do 10,000 damage to each part initially.
You could even go and catch 2 Zoos with the Trainer and giving the Trainer Throw because it innately has catch.
And you can have the Time Mage as well, because if the Time Mage is all he's going to be doing is black Bolt 3 direct, then you don't need throw there. So you have 2 throwables, you have 2 black mages, you have a time mage with time, obviously, and you have 3 zoos in your back pocket, which means that at the end of the day, Almagus is only going to have 25,000 HP to go through before he's gone, and that's easily doable with throwing Excals and doing single target Bolt 3s.
The question is, is Freddeh going to consider catch strats?
Well, or you just find quick, and suddenly your DPS problem becomes less relevant, and now it becomes more of an MP problem.
Ninja quick! Throw!
So Archaeolavis here is interesting because it is 4,000 per phase, so this is very much, if you know your damage outputs here, a well-placed bio could get you to skip the other 4 phases. So Archaeolavis, his phase changes, he has 5 phases here, relies on a counter script. So, similar to other Final Fantasy games, if Archaeolavis gets over that damage threshold by a counter, or by a non-direct damage, such as Sap, or a Monk counter, there is no counter to a counter script. So, instead of doing a phase change, Archaeolavis will just die. And so you can skip the rest of the fight that way.
Was the Elder Branch from here or the Carbuncle spot for Dry?
It was from the Carbuncle spot.
So Dry should have it, I believe.
Yeah. Because this, I believe, just had a gold shield.
The most common item is that even worth as much as the anti-magic bow that seems everywhere also?
Probably not, no. So, like, I'm trying to think, what bosses do we not want to see in the Void?
Omniscient. I mean, yes, we have Meteor and Quick, but still...
Omniscient is fine. We just Zerk and haste and go to town a little bit. Phoenix down, Life Roulette, if you wanted to do it that way, but honestly, you're putting out enough damage. Omniscient would be rude, but it wouldn't be that.
Not expecting any walls per se, but Omniscient I feel would be a slower sandworm. No. Yes, we have single target with Black Mage, but
Sandworm is just not fun. And we do see Dry also doing the X-Stuff dive, and he will also take the Sandworm bait, unless he decides not to read a hint.
And Dry, I know for sure, has done Zoo strats, so wonder if how many people Dry will set out at when he finds he's in go mode at level 28.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, this party composition, you can very much have 3 people do release. And that is 120,000 damage to the final boss in 3 turns. Or not even 3 turns, in 1 turn, that is 3 actions. It really doesn't get better than that.
If you cast Quick while doing Zoo, and you go and do Zoo plus something.
Yeah, you could do that too. Of course, at this point, Dry doesn't know he's going to find Quick in the Void.
Yeah.
But yeah, then you add another, 8k per throw on the Excaliburs, so...
with our levels...
6k.
With our levels, 4.5.
Okay. I mean, you still add another 12-13k. Yeah, I mean, at that point, it really doesn't become the obvious part, which is the part that you are naturally worried about, especially in a seed this quick. It really doesn't become threatening.
You might have a whipped paralyze to keep Grand Cross under control. Then you have scrolls, you have rods, you have Bolt 3 for AoE damage if you want to do it that way, or you have single target Bolt 3 and darts of more Excaliburs if you want to split damage that way.
Yep, it's not a terrible situation to find yourself in. Dry is going to take the Sandworm bait. Good. It would... While it may have been interesting to see what Mirage Raider give, take the path that you know is going to be right.
You're like, I have a Mirage Raider, I guess I'll go and chase it. Big bridge key? Huh.
Ooh, so...
Uh-oh.
Freddeh did not get the gargoyle down in time and used fusion, which is an elixir, essentially. So that gargoyle that got fusioned on is now at full health, and the gargoyle also comes back at full health. So
yeah, last time I ran into gargoyles, they were rude enough. After a fusion, I just chucked 2 breaks, and miraculously it worked.
Yeah, when that happened, that the odds of hitting 2 breaks in a row on gargoyles in the void, even outside the void, is very low. So it is very lucky to do so. At the point where one gargoyle has just fusion and the other gargoyle has the, full HP, that's when you just start breaking. Gargoyles are, however, susceptible to sleep.
Oh, so just spam double sleep. Got it.
If you can put one of the gargoyles to sleep, you just damage the other gargoyle.
Is it an action of the one that's alive that resurrects the dead one?
It is the action of the one that is still alive, yes.
The one thing that makes, well, I mean, we have Demi, so that works, but I was about to say, the one thing that makes catch strats a little harder is lack of Corner Jar, but...
Yeah, if you Demi twice, you Demi 3 times, you need 1/8 of the enemy's health for a catch to be successful without a Corner Jar. So 3 Demis will put it right on that range. At this point, Freddeh, I would just reset and get your stuff back and try again. Or start spamming break.
If you don't trust the... I would also be throwing Excaliburs or nothing at all, probably, but...
Well, he threw a whole bunch already.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but...
So believe it or not, those gargoyles only had 12,000 HP per piece. That is a 24,000 HP spot divided by 2.
And if you have 2 throwers, that's out 3 javelins a piece, or 3 Excaliburs a piece, which expensive, but...
And we see really Dry buying 31 Excaliburs, so 10 more than Freddeh was able to afford.
Ooh. Let's see if Dry uses them throughout the void, or saves them for the end. Time save in the void is noticeable.
I thought it was 24. Is it 22.2? Okay. I do not know my vanilla panda then. Buying an elixir as well.
Having a pocket elixir is always helpful.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't. Maybe he has a whole bunch of time or a whole bunch of high potions as well. So Twintania here at the save spot. Just keep your party alive and then do an instant kill when he does his Mega Flare charge up.
Giga Flare.
Giga Flare, yeah. non-mega
Because
flip.
it's not reflectable, as I've discovered.
Yep. We see Dry going into the void. What, about 10 minutes or so after Freddeh did? So, yeah, when Twin Tanya does her charge up or the phase change, so that becomes weak to pretty much everything. Vulnerable to L5 Doom, vulnerable to Doom, vulnerable to Break, vulnerable to anything that kills non-heavies. So what you will see after the 5th attack here, Freddeh will put his cursor on. Maybe you actually need to be on fight here unless you're on active, because in this menu there's no ATB ticking unless you're on active. So you want to use the fight command. The cursor will drop down on its own when the phase changes, and then he's vulnerable. If you're on active, you could technically use the break menu as well, but active
seems like a choice.
Yeah, the way you make this game difficult is you put on active and in battle speed 1.
Oh no. No.
And the game becomes a lot more difficult with that. We do see a bone mail on. So, this is one of those weird things. Bone mail? Not terribly bad to have.
Fire 3 is... Whereas bone meal... No, bone meal's weak to fire.
So, it's... Okay. Let me specify this. Bone mail is bad to have on during the final fight unless you're doing, like, Doom strats to refresh your health. Because that is a valid thing. If you cast Doom on someone wearing a bone mail, that is a full heal. But what you can do is status glitch right before you do Neo X Staff. And so you're not vulnerable to a lot of statuses. If you have bone mail on, the fight before you fight Neo X Staff, take it off. And as long as you don't reload your game, you have those immunities. But bone mail against Almaguest will destroy even the highest HP parties, because bone mail gives you a holy weakness, and you're just dead. As there's not much that will survive a 3.4k Almaguest. Just putting that out.
The goal is to not get Almaguested.
Yes. But I don't think you wouldn't wear a bone mail into Neo X stuff. What you do is you would status glitch it so that you're not actually wearing it, but you get the immunities in there.
You get to use status immunities, but you're still able to heal. You're not weak to holy.
Yeah, it is, and all it takes is basically you turn on encounters right before you get into Neo X stuff, and you can do that in one of the rooms right next door here, and then just run away, and then remove the bone mail, and you're set. You can do this with ribbons as well. It's actually incredibly useful in most 4-job vanilla seeds, where you're not going to be that high level and you don't really want to grind. So just way to make 4-job teams go further is just knowing how to do those sort of nice glitches.
Let's see how Dry handles the gargoyles, which so far have appeared to be the toughest boss we've seen.
Yeah, Golem, not really a threat ever. Considering the enemies do not attack you until Golem is dead. So Dry is putting one of the gargoyles to sleep and is going to try breaking the other one or dooming, or however he wants to do it. They're vulnerable to both doom and break.
Is Doom more accurate?
Honestly, I don't think there's a difference between the two spells, but there may be. The gargoyles just run on pretty high magic evade as a whole.
Yeah.
But Dry has all the time to do this, pretty much.
Here we see just how lucky hitting 2 in a row can be.
Yes.
Are we Are we sure Doom works just as well as Break?
Yep, because you can definitely use a Death Potion against gargoyles. We see Marigine at the Halicarnassus spot. Weak to fire. So just fire
Not weak
and
to
more
javelins.
fire. Is generally pretty weak to Meteor though, but Fire 3 is certainly your best bet, especially if you have a Wizard Rod or a Thunder Rod or a Fire Rod. Nice damage there, by the way. 6,666. Yeah.
We need to be worried.
Nah. And of course, when in doubt, just Space Rocks.
I mean, Trainer doesn't have... You could, I guess, hit with Flame Whip and hope for proc, but...
Yeah, so I know X-Zone is certainly less accurate than Doom. I just don't know what the break spell base is. Is it also 50%?
But yeah, Dry gets through the gargoyles.
Quite a bit faster.
And with less resources expended.
I mean, it's looking like this is going to come down to how well can our Razors manage this final fight. Freddeh is, unless something terribly rude is up here in the Twin Tiny House spot, we'll get to XDEF first. But I expect them to both be in Neo XF around the same time. Okay, so Doom is slightly more accurate than Break. But not by all that much.
Good to know. So yeah, Dry is 3 bosses behind. One is Twintania insta-kill though. One is Miragene super weak to fire, and one is Golem also weak to fire.
And here is Greg 4. Just push the damage.
Push the damage and start chucking Phoenix Downs at people.
Like, it's fine. We've already beat Necro. There's no other boss after this. Just push the damage and keep people alive. There's no point in trying for an actual kill here. Just let Gilgamesh get through his entire script. Don't waste resources. Just a Meteor. It's 50,000 HP you have to get through here. Yes, it's possible. And in fact, it's probable, but you might as well just... To me, there's no point in throwing Excaliburs.
I'd throw in one to push the damage early.
Javelins are just as well here, though.
Yeah, I guess it's a matter of 4,000 versus 2.5. And we see another Doom on Twintania, so 2 boss difference. And we're in the Hawk phase for Greg 4.
Yep, so you'll get 5 attacks, I believe, from Greg, and then he'll transform here. Most of the attacks from Greg here are going to be status effect based rather than direct, so you'll see Frog Song, Tiny Song, Time Slip, but they're all going to be things that you can deal with. You just want to keep your party alive while Greg gets through this last portion.
Haste and Mirage Vest person, very good for that.
Yes. It's just Greg is so fast here. You're like, again, doing 50,000 damage is before he transforms into his, true form. Pretty unlikely. But there's a Tiny Song.
They're they have a Mirage Vest. Who cares if they're small? Was that a quick cast?
He's been doing it.
Nope, just haste. Whack. Oh, and we see Dry's going for the Golem kill with Quarter.
20,000 HP Golem. doesn't really give all that much XP.
Oh, Dragoon Lance, that's another solid dart. But we still have 31 Excaliburs, which is...
Two of the tablets, so to answer some things in chat, two of the tablets weren't hidden at all. The last one was behind, we knew it was behind Sandworm Bait, which required the big bridge key, but we had XDef Castle access, and XDef gave the Sandworm Bait. And that happened to have the last tablet, rather than giving us something that needed the sub key. So, yeah. XF Castle bailing out both our runners from chasing whatever chain led to the big bridge key. Which looks like it was probably Elder Branch, could have been Pyramid.
But the 3 versus 1 mean the odds are significantly in Elder Branch's favor.
And the Elder Branch was from XF's castle, so you weren't going to chase that before doing the XF in his castle. Simply, we do not need a buff phase for this fight, so...
So now we see Freddeh has to set up and figure out what he's doing for Ned.
Did Freddie get those running shoes, or did he not check that chest?
Where were running shoes?
It would be in the chest north of where Freddie is right now in this room.
I believe that chest has been checked.
Oh, we'll find out when he moves up. Maybe he'll remember that he has or see that he has a bone mail equipped.
I mean, if we're not on our final fight yet, then keep it equipped, but...
Well, we'll see. I don't know if Freddie is going to do the status glitch here. Maybe? It's easy enough to set up. But it's also very easy to not realize that you have a bone mail equipped.
And we see Black Mage getting time magic, so do not believe we're going for maximum catch.
I don't think we're going for any catch.
That's fair.
Okay, so he does have running shoes. Put that on Time Mage. And then that way your Time Mage can just open up with haste. And if characters get unhasted for Dispel or something like that, it will have permanent haste.
And Dry is now 1 fight behind. A bit of a longer fight, but still only 1 fight behind.
So yeah, I don't think Freddie realizes he has a bone mail equipped.
We'll see how that affects the final fight. Do you think Freddie has enough damage to do 55,000 before an Almagest?
I mean, he's dead either way if he doesn't.
Yeah. It's either
because
it works or we go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, because nobody in this party has more than 1600 HP, so...
And the way magic evasion works in this is it doesn't really.
Well, I mean, it's a range, but...
it's
a... Yeah, it just isn't, You need to get all mics down. That's your #1 priority here. Flare doesn't help too much compared to just boosted Bolt 3s. You're gonna be eating attacks from the back part. We don't have a magic lamp. So you're hoping you're not seeing Delta attacks or in your DPS. The good news is if you die, you don't have to fight the X stuff because both players did beat X stuff in his castle. So expect to see a haste 2 into a very quick attack and then X stuff is dead.
Well, haste 2, let ATB fill up on people, then attack.
Yeah, they're gonna happen simultaneously, pretty much.
Yep. So you have 2 people full and 2 people close. Which, by the time you finish your menuing, will probably be full.
So here we go. This is the final fight in the game. Neo XF. Not a free fight, especially with the way that we currently are. Freddie may or may not realize he has a bone mail equipped when he needs to Phoenix down. The person who has a bone mail equipped can realize, well, isn't this working? That is a...
Can you resurrect a dead person with Doom?
Not when they're dead. What you do is get a full heal if you do.
Ah. So...
But only useful if you know that you have a bone meal.
And we have characters set up on throw, so if it goes at the Albuguest part, we will know Freddeh is going for damage push. If it goes anywhere else, then we're going to go quick break strats.
I mean, with the fact that we don't have to go for tree XF makes going for break a little bit more understandable. If we had to go through the full tree X stuff, you wouldn't do that. But yeah, I mean, we need to... So you'll get like 3 rounds before Almagus comes off. So we're not doing anywhere near enough damage as is to take care of this on. We're at 6, roughly.
Oh, the throw did less than I thought. Wow.
So that's 9. So there's 55,000 HP.
Well, that was 38, and that was 3, so out 7 there, so out 15 or so, 16. 20. 23.5. We're about... This person will pass the halfway point, so might make it. That hurt.
Yeah, you get to deal with the vacuum wave killing somebody and then a delta attack,
Oh,
and that's the issue, right?
No.
Your DPS goes down so much with these other parts instantly killing you.
Yep.
So, like, even if you're doing what seems to be a good amount of damage immediately, it just... you have to deal with the fact that you're going to lose some DPS here. And even then, like, Freddeh is lucky that the vacuum wave hit the person who has haste innate because of the running shoes.
I think this is going to be the Almaguest.
Yeah, so you get the vacuum wave, and then an Almaguest will follow in the next couple of ticks. So, at this point, if Freddeh gets to turn, he needs to quick, and needs to throw breaks out.
Yeah, we're not at... Dry also looks like we're not going for catch straps and is going straight to the final fight.
So there's the Almaguest.
Or is going for the save point. Oh, hey.
You can Doom this. First boss in the game, not weak to anything but Doom. Go figure.
Going for the last save point means you're likely expecting either a more RNG route or you want to leave the void.
Well, it looks like he wants to leave the void.
Oh, right.
He's gonna cast his... Yeah, now he's gonna catch the zoos.
Yep. I was thinking you just go do the dragon wings.
No, these are so much faster if you can do it. I'm surprised he didn't do this before entering the void.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the play, you know, this ultimately is what I expected from Dry, was he's gonna set up catch on a couple of people here, just so what he's catching is zoos. They do breath wing when released, which does a quarter of an enemy's maximum health. In this case, it'll do 9,999 damage because that's the damage cap. So, you know, if you catch 2 of them, you get 19,998.
And we have a quarter, so that's instant setup.
Yeah. So this will be... Just need to do one more. Demi or whatever.
Quarter demi catch.
Yep. Having time age here really makes it cool. But yeah, I think at this point, Freddie probably realizes that to get through this, he's going to need to just use spam.
I could, with rod breaking, I don't believe we have the ability points on enough people, but I could see quad catch strats. That's 40,000. The rest can easily push enough damage after that.
Catch is tied to the character's command, so the catch becomes a release for that character.
Yeah.
Beastmaster knows it in native. And then you can put it on someone who doesn't really need too much.
Yeah, we have 3 people with catch. And then the Time Mage has black.
Which is what that was the setup that I was saying we're talking about before.
The only possible other alternative, if you're really going for catch, would be if you had gotten it on 3 of your people, you could go and have the Time Mage with catch instead and just be relegated to breaking rods after that.
Or you could spam Meteor, but that's a bad idea. Quick Meteor.
I'd rather break rods.
Quick Meteor could be fine. So we'll see if he goes for Freddie on his second attempt here, going for if he's gonna try to do the push damage strat or if he's gonna go break. I mean, maybe in some way this works out. I've been surprised before, but I thought he got pretty lucky in terms of targeting for that attempt. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this works.
I mean, if we have something to make you immune to an elemental, if it does that instead of delta attack.
I mean, you're still, it's 20k around here. So, I mean, theoretically, yeah, it could. You just need to have everyone survive. Because these Black Mage and Time Mages are doing about 6k per quick.
Yep. And about 4, no, over 4 for the Excaliburs.
And just to put it in perspective, just because the Almagus part is what we're focusing on first, because that is by far the most dangerous part in terms of if we don't kill this before Almagus comes out, we're dead. No ifs, ands, or buts. And then there's the rest of the fight that also isn't free.
Dry does not have haste 2.
No, he does not have haste 2 because that was in a chest in Jakul Cave.
But can always, with quick to get 2 others with the running shoes, it's fine.
So maybe Freddie.
Everyone's still standing and hasted, so that's good. However, the moment all of the zoos release, that overall damage of the fight is going to be advantage Dry.
Very much so. Let's see, does this
It'll
do it?
be 25, 30, 35, 40,000 left, because it's 70, 65, 60, 55.
Alright, but the Almagus just died. So there's your problem 1 taken care of. Right before he
Problem
was going to do
2
Almagus.
is using the chain whip to paralyze. Good hit. But yeah, there's a lot of damage left in this fight for Freddie.
60,000 back part, 55,000 on the Grand Cross, and 50,000 on the front. That is what Freddie gets to deal with now.
Okay, so it's 50 on the front, 55 for Grand Cross, and I'll guess 60.
Yep.
So it's a little more closer than I was thinking. A little bit, but yeah. Only 60,000 left though. Gets the final haste off and
damage is capped at quad 9s. Otherwise, there'd be no reason to do anything else, because then you just release 4 times.
and do a single AoE and you're probably there. That second Black Mage does not look like they had a Thunder Rod equipped.
Did not look like that to me, or even a Wizard Rod.
Tank to hit, that's good.
Once. You can only... Catch becomes released once you catch a monster, so you can't do 2 catches on the same character. This is not Final Fantasy X where you're trying to get Phil Monster Arena.
Pressing the damage enough that...
And here is the Grand Cross number 1 for Freddeh. Random status effects. See what we get. Stone Paralysis and Old. Possibly Old?
Paralysis. Good thing it didn't hit the paralyzed person.
I cannot tell if that's an old status on that Black Mage. But I believe Dry is through that. Oh no, Omegas is still alive. So he's gotta get through that. May want to check his rod situation here. Omegas is dead. Or no, not dead yet. This needs to kill, otherwise I believe it goes off this next tick.
Switching equipment, so
yeah, that Omegas also just died. So now we are at the same part for both of these players. At the same time, Dry has also done 40 or 30,000 roughly damage to each of the other parts.
And looks like is doing single target split, which with the Excaliburs, I think is probably the better play. Okay, that's a haste gone.
Freddeh did very nicely recover from that Grand Cross, but yes, that Black Mage is indeed old. In other words, that Black Mage now has become functionally a chemist, because nothing will do damage anymore. The only ability we have for curing old in this flag set with these jobs is kill. And you have to do it. Yeah, you have to kill the person who is olded immediately, otherwise your damage output basically becomes nothing. Old is a status that removes 1 level. I don't think it's per tick, but it's close enough that it really does become useless very fast. So, like I said, it's really just become a chemist at this point.
Looks like the trainer has black on Dry side, which... less damage, but since their primary purpose is to keep the Grand Cross under control, matters a little less. And if they're... that's not good. I mean, good thing one of those dead was the person with running shoes.
One of the big divergences in the seed was there was a chest in Jakul Cave that Freddeh got on the way to Odin that contained Haste 2. And Haste 2 is better than Haste because it's AoE and you don't have to haste each party member individually.
Laws of physics are broken. Get that paralyzed. Or murder, which I believe is what we've been going for.
There's so many races this time where we just haven't seen the back part being alive because we get the magic glint or some other way to instantly kill it or near instantly kill it. But it turns out the back part is very rude. There's a reason.
With this party setup, if I could trust in the paralysis chance, I definitely would want the back part gone and just paralyze Grand Cross. But these HP numbers are...
It's a squishy team at low levels. This was good.
No protection of any kind. That's a dead person. Good
And
thing
we
it's
got
the
a
red
stone
and cheese
person and a dead person.
Was that...
I believe that was the Grand Cross.
Like Grand Cross might be dead?
Or Dry? It may very well be.
Yep. We're down to 2 for Dry.
So the question is, how well... This is the end of Neo XF, is how well have you counted your damage? There is a lot of HP to chew through, and if you are off by enough, once Neo XF gets down to his last part remaining, basically becomes a berserked target character and decides to spam all the very, very nasty stuff and gets double turns. So, Meteor into Almagus, not out of the question. Vacuum Wave into Almagus, Vacuum Wave into Meteor. They are all things that can happen because you just miscounted. And then you
I believe Almagus to Almagus might also be a possibility.
In either case, you are very dead.
Any AoE damage to this party is death.
You can get lucky with Meteor, because Meteor doesn't resolve kills until the very end of the fight. So technically the same target can be Meteor to the face 4 times.
Or it could be one for each party member and you're sad.
But it certainly it makes it exciting. It is probably, if you don't have the easy ways to kill it, Neo XF, it can certainly be one of the most challenging final bosses in Final Fantasy.
If you're thinking you're close, definitely want to get your ATB bars filled up on everyone who you can. Well,
and here we go. So, this is the part where Neo XF is very angry and you have to get lucky. So we have one character
we have
surviving,
one person alive, but they have Quick.
And yeah, you use Quick, and you really hope your damage is close. Otherwise, you are dead.
And they're...
But a little taste of the scary, and that is actually done. Yeah, that is it. So get your
GG's
GGs
to Dry.
Get your GGs in chat for Dry, who finished at an official time of 1 hour and 40 minutes and approximately 0 seconds. This time is a little bit slow, I guess, or he
was slow on hitting done.
Yes.
I guess stopped timer before hitting done, or started timer late.
As he puts it in the race room, he had a long exhale after that. Yeah, it's understandable. All he needed was to get very, very lucky on how that double turn happened, which ultimately is what happened.
It left one of the 2 best people alive. Quick, I believe the Kai Mage, Black Mage, or the Ninja were the 2 people you would want alive.
I mean, it was close. It was a couple of thousand HP left. But yeah, no, it's like the Meteor only targeting 2 people was incredibly nice, right? If that Meteor targets 3 people and then the Vacuum Wave comes out, everyone's dead.
I believe the Vacuum Wave comes out. I didn't think everyone died before the Vacuum Wave came out, but...
Yeah, that's correct. It could have also been an Almagus. At which point you're just like, well, our party cannot survive an Almagus.
And Freddie's long fight continues, is that dead stoned person able to be recovered, or is that the bone mail?
No, because I don't. Bone mail can't be on that character. I don't. It's a black mage. Black mage cannot actually equip a bone mail. Let's see if we can get Dry in here. Maybe taking a water break. It is very early for Dry. This is an early morning match. We are joined by the winner of today's race. GG's Dry. What an exciting finish. Showing off the power of Trainer and showing off the reason why you don't leave Neo X-Step with one part remaining for very long.
Yeah, that didn't go quite according to plan at the end, but I knew I was close, and Quick is a really nice spell to have when your team is sort of under-leveled and needs extra turns to fix whatever the heck is going on from Ned.
Yes. And it was pretty well counted for as well, but did ultimately have to get a little bit lucky at the end there. So
The
I'm actually...
Ninja took a lot of good Meteo hits at the end to save Lena.
Which is odd, because that's not normally how this happens. Normally Lena's the person who takes everything. So my question is, did your strategy actually change at all when you found Quick in the void, in the forest?
It changed in the sense that I figured the end was probably doable, whereas without Quick, I wasn't sure if I was even going to be able to win without more levels or something.
At that point, were you also just like thinking, so you go up X-Steph's castle, right? And both you and Freddie did this because you were sort of running out of checks and you had it available. And you see the Mirage radar and you see the Sandworm bait, and you know the Sandworm bait is Path to the Void. You weren't sure whether or not it's a tablet, right? Or whether or not you still need to find a sub-key. Was there any thought to ever taking that Mirage radar?
Definitely, but I felt like this is the loser bracket finals. You gotta try and go fast, and that would be the faster choice if things worked out. I did have a save in case it to refight Castle X stuff, but I could take the Mirage radar, but no, I was pretty sure that Endworm Desert was going to end up being a tablet because all these other hints were just tablets too. I don't know. It could have been. You're right. It could have been a while, but no, I figured you have to take what the hint says first, and then if it doesn't work out, well, could have gone to Mirage instead. But then I would have been searching for who knows how long for that bait, for the Sandworm bait.
Yeah, I guess one thing I didn't consider is the fact you already had both of the pages that required the sub-key. So it's not like you were going to get the Trench page or the Falls page from the Sandworm bait, right? So
yeah, the Shrine page is something I didn't get, but there was no mention of it. Maybe the World 3 hints had some info, but actually we know now that they probably didn't say much. At the time, I had no idea what the hints would have said in World 3, but yeah, I figured it was just like, if you've gotten this far in the tournament, you gotta try and go as fast as possible. I think that's what people want to see.
And getting Meteo right off the bat certainly is one of those ways.
I'm starting to get bored of... See, Time Mage is like my favorite pick, and I'm starting to get bored of the Meteo right away that comes with it. That's not the reason that I picked Time Mage. Mostly I'm picking it because I want haste. But feels like at least 2 or 3 times now I've had races in this tournament where I picked Time Mage and got Meteo really early.
I believe your last 3 races have all had it. You had, I believe, this race it was in Kuzer. In 2 races ago it was in Kuzer, and your race before this was in Pirates
Pirate
Cove.
Cave. Yeah.
So
Where
just
was
an
it this
update.
time? I forget. Oh, it was also in
Kuzer.
Kuza. Yeah, yeah.
We are joined by Freddie, who did forfeit after that very long Neo Extra fight. GG's to you. I was impressed at actually getting Almagus down the way you did, because I didn't think you would be able to have to push the damage.
Did Dry just break spam to do it, or did something else show up?
No, Dry can explain what he did.
Sure.
GG's, Freddie. It sounds like it was a close one. I haven't been given any info about how close you are until now. But yeah, I went and did the Necro spot, which was an instant kill Wing Raptor, and then I caught 3 zoos so I could do a bunch of damage and take out the Almagus part of Ned pretty fast.
Oh yeah, that's
Before
fair.
it went off,
Capture would gun faster. I was thinking about that at the start, and then by the end, I was just like, I should be fine. Let's go. Didn't work out. It turns out
it was touch and go to win that final fight for me. I had one person standing at the end to win.
Yeah, no, I decided to just try the fight because I thought I would figure if I lost this time and you weren't finished yet, I would go check the Necro spot. But yeah, getting the zoos would have definitely helped.
So what did you do to kill Almagus part?
I had both gold hairpins, so I did quick bolt 3 spam basically, plus a couple Excalibur throwing, and I just barely won the damage race the second try.
Nice.
But then
quick is an incredible spell.
Quick is quite nice, but I only had 3 elixirs, so I was running low on mana to keep spamming quick. And then just kept getting in a cycle of getting Phoenix, running out of Phoenix Downs eventually, but just kept getting in a cycle of getting messed around. Got some bad luck on some Chain Whip procs so a Grand Cross went off. I think once that first Grand Cross went off, it was a losing battle, but...
I have to admit I got lucky with paralysis procs. I feel like it went off every time for me.
Yeah.
And so I got no Grand Cross, and that was huge.
Yeah, that's big.
Yep.
And I think my one of my time black mages got olded the first Grand Cross. So by the time the second, I think I got Grand Crossed again at some point. I'm just leaving him down. He's not gonna do anything at this point.
He was a glorified chemist after that first Grand Cross.
Yeah, he was not helpful. Which is funny because I was already spamming, especially using my last elixir on him. But
yeah. Once the Grand Cross part was down, my trainer was just doing covery chemist stuff as well. I got lucky on the chain whip. Nice to see little chain whip contribution at the very end there.
I bought a couple just for that.
Yeah. I don't know if you found anything better. We probably
it's a flame whip early on. But...
Yeah. Early flame whip was cool, which I never got a single proc. I don't think.
I got a first proc on Necro, and that was how I killed Necro in 2 turns. Let's throw Thunder Scroll into Flame Whip proc, and cool, Necro's dead.
And here you plant as well.
And here you plant as well. Yeah.
That's extra damage for the quick kill. Nice.
Oh, did they tell you what happened on my Gargoyles fight? Frickin', they were down to probably less than 5,000 hit points, and then I got Fusion recovered. And just got completely off of after that. And it's well, we'll just see what happens. And I managed to get it down, but it was 3 or 4 extra minutes.
Gargoyles
That's a big deal.
Vulnerable to sleep, so...
Yeah, that would require me to remember that at the time and think it's useful. I know they have a really high defense stat. Oh, also... Oh, no, never mind.
Magic Evade,
yeah.
Their magic evade scales high in the void. I got lucky because one of my sleep hit right away, and then on just the first one, and then I took a long time to beat them because I was spamming Doom and it just wasn't hitting. And so eventually it finally hit them both, but I was not real happy about how long mine took. But it certainly didn't take 4 or 5 minutes if that's what yours took. That was a big difference too.
Yeah, no, it took a long time for me. Like I just was DPSing him down with. I had 2 time mages at that point and only 1 black mage, so I wasn't well set up going into it. Because I was just trying to get some levels around for I think for capture or something. But just ended up trying to get a time mage trying to get a mage with throw. That's what I was doing. Because I'm like, okay, if I come up against Purbolos, I'm gonna want boosted Thunder Scrolls or something. Instead, I still kind of got to do that against Gargoyles, but then my freaking Galuf kept getting destroyed, which was my time mage with Thunder Rod and Thunder Scrolls and throw. So that was annoying.
I wish that I had actually gotten a magic ability on either of my throwers, but what I did was switched ninja with trainer because I liked
Yeah,
the combo of black and time on the 2 others, and so all my scroll throws were kind of weak.
that was pretty much what I did for most of it. But like I said, near the end, I'm like, I'm gonna swap, just get at least a little bit of throw because things like Purbolos exist. But I guess double black is fine too. So double black Thunder Rod, Bolt 3 early Medio in the Void.
Not the perfect synergy, and I didn't want to mess around too much with the jobs because I figured I was going to have to do the catch release stuff maybe at the end.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking enough about it. I should have checked. I should have just done what you did and checked Necro earlier, the Necro spot.
So I'm curious, maybe from the commentators, which of us got to the Void first?
So Freddeh was ahead by, I think he got into the Void about 10 minutes before you, Dry.
I did a really long Ned fight. Like I was 30 minutes into my Ned fight when you finished.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so Freddeh got to
Something
Neo
like
XF, so got into the Inner Void because you went and took Wing Raptor and did caught Zeus. Freddeh, I want to say, got into the Inner Void probably about 5-6 minutes before you did, Dry. Did wipe the first time, didn't get the damage out for Almagast and wiped Almagast, which was sort of a good thing because I think you had a bone mail on Freddeh.
Did I? I might have.
Yeah. Which, that character was already dead, but you would have realized that when 3600 showed up on the damage.
Yeah, that wouldn't have worked so
well. So, the second time, Freddeh was still ahead on his second attempt by the time you finally went into Neo XF, but when you can do 30,000 damage 3 times...
Right away to everything. Yeah, it's pretty good.
It does catch up quite a bit, but no, it was a very exciting finish. And it's just, again, Dry getting sort of lucky on the targeting at the very end to let you finish, and it could have just as easily gone the other way, but it's not a simple Ned fight. You have to get some luck with the way this was set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was worried about the Ned fight from the moment that we finished the draft. And then I was like, how am I going to do this consistently, especially if I'm not high level? Why don't you guys ask Freddeh what he thought of from the Castle Exdeath key item options?
Yeah, the other thing
it was an interesting choice. I'm like, okay, I shouldn't take Mirage because I'm just going into... Did you take the go mode item too, the sandworm bait?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so we both did the same path to get there. That was gonna be my next question. So, but yeah, no, that was an interesting choice. I'm like, I don't really need anything. Like, lamp would be nice, but
really
I
nice.
felt strong enough to get through at least 2 Ned, and I thought I could maybe make Ned figure. I think I overestimated how much the Scalipores would do at that level. Plus, we also got a couple bosses that didn't give us XP, which did not help.
Looking at your levels, my best guess for Excalibur's going into the Void was 4,500, and I think they only were doing 4,000 probably because of the lacking levels from like gold.
Yeah,
I was a little disappointed with that too, since I sold everything I had to buy as many as I could.
Yeah, I did too. I probably should have bought a couple more elixirs in hindsight, but I figured I was getting one shot anyway, so it was mostly for mana. I'm like, I have 3, I think, or 2, or a couple, at least a couple. That should be enough with 2 gold hairpins, but I think I was running a little low near the end.
Yeah, I think
a
I
long
had one
fight.
elixir and I bought one, and that was it. That was just enough.
Yeah. I mean, you with the zoo releases, like I should
Yeah,
have done that.
different,
Like
slightly different
100%.
plan. So that's why I was able to serve them a little bit, but I abused Quick a lot.
Oh yeah.
I will
Like,
say the one massive pickup that Freddie got that you never got dry was the back of Jakol had haste 2.
Yeah, that
What?
was. I just
Oh,
pick. I never
Grace.
pick up those chests on a whim. I'm like, I'm just gonna pick up the third chest, and it just had haste 2 in it. And I'm like, when? What? Why? Does that chest have
Wait a
haste
minute.
2?
It's a tier
Not
2
not
chest.
not back at Jakol. It was the on the way to Odin.
Well,
The
it's Jakol Cave.
oh, is that Jakol Cave? Okay,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Jakol Cave. I was confused where you were talking about. Oh, the Odin spot, which I completely skipped. Okay.
The Jakol
I
Cave,
figured.
it's the same chest that was that used to be glitched with the back of Bell Castle.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Yeah.
remember which one
Wow,
was
amazing. I mean, I was figuring it was Haste 2 was locked away in Mirage 10
I
or something.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to get it. I opened it. I'm like, wait, is that haste 2? The heck?
I felt very slow in the void, like not even casting haste because I was like trying to instant kill gargoyles. I'm like,
Yeah.
I take the extra turn to cast haste, or is it just gonna hit the next time I try? You know, like
Right.
I really didn't use haste much until the very end, and because haste 2 is just so much better.
Oh yeah, haste 2 makes, and plus the running shoes like makes both things free.
You find those running shoes in the void?
Yeah, I did. I did. I was searching the void for the lamp, so
Same.
the running
Yeah.
shoes were
And
nice.
lamp or shoes, that's what I was looking for. There wasn't much good in the void, but we did get one pair of running shoes, which was
Yeah.
pretty essential, I would
I
say.
mean,
Especially without
would-
haste 2, yeah.
I mean, I'd still say Quick is by far the most essential thing you picked up for that fight.
True,
Yeah,
Quick was
for
also
sure.
in the void,
You're
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
it was
That
in the
was in the
forest.
void too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the ribbon
That's a-
spot or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, the running shoe spot is a chest that I skip a lot too, but
I
like
normally
said,
skip that chest, but if I'm desperate like I was in this
Yeah.
race for something really important, I do check it.
yeah, it was a tough thing. Did you check what did you end up skipping location wise? Like I didn't do Steamship, Megisa, or Ifrit or Hiryu Valley basically.
I did
All of
Steamship,
those.
I did Megisa, I did Gree Valley, yep, I did all those. I did a lot of World 1 and 2 checks, and
I'm guessing Subkey was
then
in one
went
of
to
those
Excess
3.
Castle.
Nope.
No?
My guess is that Subkeys is through Elder Branch, because either through Elder
Fork
Branch
Tower.
or
Yeah.
or at Pyramid. It's one of the two, because those are the only spots we have open that we never actually saw.
Okay, so Fork Tower was required if there wasn't the shortcut through X-Staff.
Or
Cool.
Elder Branch
Or
or Pyramid.
pyramid.
Elder Branch's Void was a Baron check.
Was
We
there
had
a Burning
Burning
Baron?
we had
Okay.
Burning Baron, yeah.
I did not
Yeah,
see
it
that.
was, yeah.
Okay.
So
Then yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
was
did
either
the
Fork or Pyramid.
Karnak Escape, even though Burning was barren, because I was hoping for something good out of the chests.
chests,
and
yeah.
I'm not sure if I got anything good, really. Maybe like,
You got an
be something.
Excalibur.
yeah,
Cool,
which
cool.
I sold for money.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, I sold so much things for money. Like I think I had enough for 21 Excaliburs.
Yep.
Something like that.
I think I
And
had
Dry-
like 30, over 30.
Oh
Dry,
jeez.
Dry had 31 and you had 21, Freddie.
Nice. I mean I skipped a lot of loot stuff, so I'm not surprised. Like I didn't do Karnak at all. I didn't
Well, I
do
mean-
Hiryu Valley at all.
This was just such a fast seed.
Yeah.
It could have been much longer, but you know, X stuff can be like that sometimes. Gives you the exact item you need, and there's no chain. Like,
Yeah, and with
Think
this
about
it.
game, you're not going to be leveling. You're not like trying to get levels or buff of it all. So you may as well just get the cheaper X death and you can get it. See
You
what
start-
he drops.
yeah, I mean, you start off getting Meteo and Kuza Castle, and I'm guessing next match will not have Time Mage in it.
I like Time Mage too. I know Dry likes Time Mage and I like Time Mage. So
It just
Yeah,
seems
it's
like a
would-
lot
just
of-
that my
I would be
last-
surprised
we
if we
were-
don't.
We were talking about how my last 3 races have all had early Meteo, and I'm
It's true.
actually a little sick of it. So
That's
I might
fair.
not.
Yeah,
It-
Meteor is annoying.
Time.
I do like Time Mage, but I probably won't pick it if you don't. But I'm not gonna ban it. So
Yeah.
The
Yeah, by the time I got to Castle Exeth, I figured there's a decent chance he'd have either the bait or the big bridge key, which would lead to the bait. So
Exactly. Yeah, it was a no-brainer check. I'm like, I want one of three things. I want either the sandworm bait, the big bridge, or Mirage Radar. Got two of the three actually. I forget what the third one was.
Wondering if Subkey was also on the radar, if like there wasn't other choices, because it's the potential. Oh, I guess I have to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
you could check hints at Trench. Yeah.
Yeah, we had trench page, so at least I had
And
trench page.
Paul's page, probably. You got that?
Yeah, I got that too. Let's see, I was missing bridge key, Ifrit's fire, hear you, which I think we had a hint for, and then like sub key. I think I had pyramid page, or is that a hint as well?
no pyramid
Yeah, we
page
got-
I thought was at Hiryu Valley, right?
Oh,
No,
was
it
it?
was a
It was
library
at the
one.
front of the library.
Oh, front of
Yeah.
library. Yeah.
Okay, no, I didn't have that then.
Got
Maybe it was
that one,
hinted.
too.
Oh, it was
I
a world
I
one
checked
hint.
that one.
Yeah. Did you go to pyramid or
Nope.
no? Okay.
I stayed away from the World 3 checks at least. I was going to go there after I cleared Exeth Castle if it was just awful and gave nothing useful. But the only World 3 check I did was the Tool Pass.
Yeah, which I think had junk. It was.
It was nothing.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was a Greg 1 fight. It's fine.
Yeah, it wasn't. Oh,
It
it's
was
tool
quick.
pass. It's fine. we had Meteo and it was tool pass. I was just checking it to see if Mirage Radar wanted to randomly show up.
Oh yeah, no, makes sense.
Next check
Um,
would have been the Odin spot, and I don't know if I would have looked at those chests to get haste 2 or not. I'm not sure.
It's-
I usually skip those if I do it. And
I was kind of at a point where like, some extra money would be nice if it happens to randomly show up or rolls high or something. We'll see if just this one check. I wasn't going to the other chests because those are, like I said, those are tier 2 spots. Those are usually nothing. But like,
if you loot any of those chests,
Okay.
it was in the chest you would loot.
yeah, exactly.
the uppermost one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's a short run and right there. So I'm like, we'll check it on a whim.
It's a great find. I was hoping that none of the stuff that I skipped was important, but really a lot of the times I was looting. I'm like, what am I really expecting to even find here? I mean, sure, I was still
know.
looking for like lamp and running shoes, but like a lot of the places where I was looting probably wouldn't have them.
Did you check both more chests? The
Nope, I only
Nice.
took the light staff, and I don't think I
Oh, is
broke
it a light
on
staff?
the whole seed.
Mhm.
Yeah, I took the light staff on the right-hand side.
Turtle
okay,
Shell was the other.
I went left into the turtle shell and just went. Yeah, I got another light staff somewhere and broke it on X Death. It was slightly better than using another Meteo, I felt.
Yeah, I was thinking, I could break light staff, but then I'd have to go down into my menu and find where it is. I'll just hold A.
I mean,
Yeah, I had it equipped just on an auto equip, so I'm like, cool, I'll just use it there. Here.
I mean, just in case Meteor wasn't to your style, you got Bolt 3 from the Bard and Licks.
Yeah, I know. That was nice as well.
It was really, really nice to have that early. Bolt 3 has got such a nice fast animation.
Yeah,
It was
Bolt
like
3.
part of the plan.
Yeah, I think by the time I went to Windshrine, I was already set up with 2 golden hairpins, Meteo, Bolt 3, and Thunder Rods. I'm like, cool. I can pretty much do the game at this point. Like, I would like a haste or something.
Yeah, it was pretty good, and javelins were in like standard World 1 shop
Yeah.
or something.
Carmen, I
like-
believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was mostly looking for Phoenix Downs. Like, I think Phoenix Downs was the main reason I was shopping World 1 by the end of it.
Yep, I got my usual 20 of those and hardly used any till the end, but
I had 31 and I ran out in my Ned fight, so
oh, that's crazy. Wow.
I used a lot. And then, I mean, everything that it doesn't attack one-shots unless... Like, I got really... Like, the time I actually killed, I basically got really lucky that my... I had Elf Cape on someone and he dodged, 3 attacks in a row. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
okay,
wow.
cool. Easy.
That
Is
last
he-
fight, you really have to be ready. I feel like I had just enough to... And I still needed to get some luck win it first try.
Yeah, I should have counted damage on my first attempt.
Paralysis procs and the damage ended up being a little slightly uneven at the very end, and I got medioed. That's why I had only one person standing, but it was their turn was enough to win. So,
Yeah, that's fair. Like, Yeah, I should have. I didn't count damage my first attempt on it, but I like felt that I was close and could have done it. So I'm like, okay, if I can get all my guys down, I think I can finish. But I just underestimated how much damage the front and the back do.
They hurt
And
a lot with the low HP team and only one Mirage Vest.
yeah, I had a couple elf capes on as well. Like, so I had 3 people that could potentially dodge, but just kept hitting the running shoes Lena, and I had to keep using Phoenix Downs to get them up. And then, like I said, the first Grand Cross went off, and it was downhill from there.
Nice. It sounds like it was fairly exciting.
No, yeah, I would say it was
Yeah.
a very exciting race to watch. It was very close throughout. It's sort of what we expect in the losers finals. I know I'm looking forward to game 2. Joe, I assume, is also looking forward to game 2.
Very much so. I gotta study some way, right?
That's how
Yeah,
I
yeah.
practice. I watch other people race. That's my
That's how I
my
practiced.
movement. The beginning of the seed, my movement was like all over the place. I'm like knocking off the rust here. Let's.
Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah,
bad.
I've been starting to get that early seed. Bonk, 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 bonk. Oh, here I'm going, feeling better, but those early bonks are happening a lot more often now.
Yeah, if I hadn't slept in so much, I would. I like to do at least like just a clear of Castle Tycoon, just to be like, okay, I got my movement at least not terrible. Maybe.
Yeah, I think
It's a
one of
good
the things
warm-up. I've done that in the past.
that don't really come through if you haven't played Career Day, but you've been watching these streams, is you don't realize sort of how fast the movement is.
Yeah, it's really hard
fast.
to be like really efficient with your movement. It's one of the
Saves a lot of
harder
time,
things
too.
because there's all kinds of like pathways where you go one step too far and you miss the turn. It's not like I feel like
You spend like
Enterprise
half
is
a
a little bit
second.
more focused. Yeah.
You spend like half a second just like staring at a wall, and it's like, oh, it's just because they're one tile too far and they held on to a directional pad for, a fraction of a second too long.
And
then
or
you
you
do that
spend
weird
6
shit.
seconds going the wrong way out of a door. That I did probably at least 5 times that scene.
There's all kinds of like movement stuff that you have to deal with. Like a lot of it is muscle memory, but then I'm like going into the void to the end, and I'm like muscle memory. I'm like trying to loot the void, which I already did at the beginning. Whoops. Like a lot of it is muscle memory too, in terms, at least for me, in terms of movement.
Yeah, so Joe, I know I've been talking, the racers have. Do you have any questions for our racers?
They've probably covered pretty much everything in the seed that I can think of. Was there any We weren't really sure of what bosses could really threaten you guys in the void. Was there any bosses you were truly wary of when you entered the void?
Honestly, the ones that we got were probably the worst ones we could have gotten at that point. Gargoyles and Greg 4. And then I think there was one other fight that did. Oh yeah, the Golem fight, which didn't give any XP. Like that, we got a pretty almost worst case void. Like there was maybe one. I don't think there was any insta kills other than high magic evade gargoyles.
Twintania.
Oh yeah, Twintania, which you still have to wait a while, but yeah. So there's Twintania, which was nice, but outside of that, it was annoying Halicarnassus fight. I think was that. Void.
I didn't fight Halicarnass, I don't think, but Greg 4
was
was
that
definitely
Malcastle?
annoying.
That was
Yeah, it's
Odin,
Odin.
That must have been Odin's spot.
which
Yeah,
you gave Odin.
Yeah.
which did give Odin. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
I mean, I will say that half of Golem is instant killable.
True. I mean, yeah, it was more the not XP part than the insta kill part for that. When we're already going in fairly low, and like, okay, I skipped Mirage Radar because I'm like, I'll get enough XP to hopefully push through, and then I like give Greg 4 Golem.
My attempts to kill Golem failed. So
I didn't even bother.
Kill
It's
him
way
that
too much hit
spot.
points.
Yeah, too many hit points, exactly.
So moving on and sort of wrapping things up here, do you have game 2 scheduled, or is that to be scheduled?
We do not have it scheduled, but probably some weeknight this week.
Probably, yeah. I don't think I have a ton planned this week. So.
Okay. Eddie, you want to give away what your plans are draft-wise, job-wise, what you're looking to do, what you aren't looking to do, or are you going to keep that close to the vest until it comes draft time? Dry will get the first pick this time.
And it's like we're probably not picking Time Mage.
That's basically the only thing that I can think of at the moment is that I'm probably going to avoid Time Age for once. See about the rest.
Yeah.
Freddie can look at the stat sheet. If you tell me a job that hasn't been picked much, maybe we could that one or something. I don't
think
know.
Thief has one still. Let me
Hey,
look.
I'm the one who picked Thief.
That's true. You are the one
So-
that picked Thief.
Geomancer
see,
have more than one yet?
Geo, Red Mage, and Thief have all only picked once.
All right, so Geo, Red Mage,
I
Thief,
haven't
and
seen Red
Dragoon.
Mage in forever in this tournament.
Yeah.
Hmm,
And Dragoon's
I
been
don't
picked
know.
twice, and I'm pretty sure I was both of those matches.
I picked once.
Sorry,
And I
sorry,
think-
my bad. Geomancer, Red Mage, Thief, and Mimic.
Perfect.
Mimic's been picked more than once, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
Been picked twice.
Oh,
I think I was in both
you're
of those
talking about
races.
the
too.
final
I think I
job.
picked it
Got
both times. It's just been banned like 15 times. So it has a lot of representation. It's just no one wants to play it.
I think I picked it because throw Mimic is good.
I
That
think
would
was
be
me,
like
actually.
the ultimate losers
We-
bracket match. Picking
I
all
think
the
I had
loser
it
jobs.
against Fire.
You can
against
mimic
Larry.
terrain, and you can
Oh
mimic
yeah, you did.
mug, and there you go.
Perfect. We'll just get 3
viable
chicken knives and then we'll be
knives.
fine, right? Chicken knife does not show up much in these flags. I've noticed. Like, I have not seen it very often. It's kind of weird.
These
I've
have been
gotten
pretty
it
jetty
twice.
seeds with the fact that Xstuff Castle has been there. So you really like. I can't even tell you how many pyramid dives there have been, but there haven't been all that many.
Is it usually in the pyramid?
There's
Can
good a
be.
chance of any.
Yeah, fair.
You're right. I haven't seen it much. It's even rarer to find it for sale in a shop.
Although we've seen more World 1 Bahamut sales than we have chicken knives in shop this tournament. So
Interesting.
consider that.
Oh, hey, we bumped our Time Mage up to be tied with Mystic Knight for the most picks now.
Ninja needs a little more representation to match them.
just one more. Ninja has plenty of representation.
And I'm half of it.
We've only had 3 samurais. Maybe it's time for another samurai. But with no level. That's the goal.
Well, at least you'd probably have the HP to survive an Almagest, even at these levels, but you certainly eat one.
Yeah.
If we're talking HP, there's only one true choice for that.
Dragoon.
Is it the monk?
And Monk.
Yes.
And Dragoon. Yeah, fair. Monk has only been picked 3 times. That's actually kind of surprising.
I assume
Yeah.
all 3 of those are Joe's.
You see, I can't pick Monk every seed.
I mean,
Or people would
could. No one
not.
bans it. I guess some people would ban it.
Alright, I think we've held you here long enough, right? Sure.
Yeah, it's
I
probably
mean,
about that time.
it's about lunchtime for you, Freddie, and Dry, it's time to wake up.
This time.
Yeah, about that time. Thank you for commentating, guys.
No
It was
problem.
fun.
It was great race to watch, great race to commentate. Again, want to thank Joe for also tracking on the side here. Any last words from you, Joe?
Just happy to be here and happy that we were able to be here.
Absolutely.
Thanks again, guys, for jumping in. I know there was a little bit of a scramble for crew for this race.
My pleasure. So
Yeah.
with that, Freddie, any other last words as well?
See you next time.
All right. So with that, we will let everyone go. Again, please follow our runners, Dryzalizer and Freddeh, both wonderful runners of this game and other randomizers as well. Always entertaining to watch. Again, thanks to Judge Joe for co-commentating and tracking. The SpeedGaming Network for allowing us to show off this game in randomizer, as they always have been a big supporter of Career Day. And with that, I'm Fiery Blizzard, and thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.